I think a lot of people in California are just pissed off because they didn't realize how cold the water was going to be till they got there. Dude, it's California, man. It's like one big fucking beach. Yep, the water is 43 degrees. $58 in the summer, you know. That is some cold ass water. I was right by LA. The water was still cold. Never have I felt water that cold in the ocean. Never. Not in New Zealand. Not in Australia. Not in the Gulf of Mexico. Not in Florida. That sums up my beach experience. Oh, Hawaii. Not in Hawaii. Oh, yeah. The one place in Hawaii that I ever visited. Kilauea. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-bam. Yep. When I was a kid. When I was still bizarrely powerful. When I was still acting out enchantments that were programmed to me before birth that seemed to be setting the stage for the distant future. And oh yeah, the volcano at Kilauea was always a big part of those memories. Told you about it before. And now, what's happening? Oh, that's what's happening. Tu tirmai na ewe, tato tato e. Tu tirmai na ewe, oh e, tato tato e. Maya timana na tala, It's gonna be like Moana's Revenge and shit. Oh man. Just what a coincidence, you know? Now of all times. That place of all places. Ominous enough that Obama was from there, huh? Sure explains his name, doesn't it? So yesterday, fissure 19 and 20 opened up. and there is just massive clouds of ash spewing up from it. I don't know if you've seen it, but you know, I provide original content on this channel, and you know, I'm not going to be so bold as to do what everybody else always seems to do, and you know, have no problem getting away with, which is just playing other people's videos. But you can see on basically every major news channel that there is a massive steam geyser. You mean no magma? Steam? Now see, what they're worried about is that because this escalation, if you will, wasn't explosive. Tiger Lily, what are you doing? Because this escalation wasn't explosive, they're worried about it continuing to recede the central lake and basically calming down, and then because of the tremendous amount of pressure that is being released right now, that pressure could then get sealed off. The caldera could get sealed off. The magma that's left in there could melt, lava, whatever. I mean, it could harden, excuse me. And the pressure could continue to build up. And what might happen is all these places that have become weakly but sufficiently sealed to allow the pressure to build up, but still overall like welded cracks. Well, everything between them could all just blow up at once. You see, this massive but slow release now could basically be opening up cavities between pockets deep down beneath the bedrock. And once those cavities merge, the pressure augmenting the cavern that's exposed right now gives this accelerated flow. But if that cools, and it stops because of it cooling, as the pressure equalizes, then once it's cooled, the pressure between those merged caverns continues to equalize, which means the lower pressure upper chamber becomes even more pressurized than it ever was. And then the Band-Aid gets ripped off. I was always terrified of that mountain when I was little. Once I saw the monster truck fucking It's just like the one in New Zealand. But they got a rental out there. Rent your own monster truck. Well, back in the 80s they did anyway. They probably don't do that kind of thing anymore. Come to think of it. A little heavy on the fumes. But still kind of scary to think about. There's a lot of people out there. And man, you know, my entire theory that this is a possibility is based on how Ayers rock physically sits. You ever looked at Ayers rock? It looks like a walnut, because what you're looking at is bedrock on its side, as if it was tossed into the air and that's where it landed. And you know, to me, looks like a duck. Probably goes quack. So to me, if it looks like it got tossed up in the air and landed there in the middle of a freaking dirt patch, that dirt patch would have become desert because of the impact. So you can't exactly assume that it would have landed in a desert. It could have made the fucking desert. And then all that desert could have been flooded. And all the sand would have leveled out around it. In fact, that's what I think is exactly what forms the topography of Australia. It's an impact crater. And what we can only surmise is that because it is not a meteorite, it is in fact bedrock, that some sort of tectonic anomaly must have cast it asunder. I like saying that. Can't tell. Well, one must then extrapolate. How does the pressure build up in a subterranean scenario that could cause such a calamity? Well, what's happening in Hawaii right now is exactly how. Because what you're seeing right now in Hawaii, everything down to the way the people are acting, is exactly how the people off the coast of Greece acted 2,400 years ago or so. But like I said, you don't have to take my word for it. You can go find the end of the rabbit hole for yourself. Bruny Island, Australia. You know what you find on Bruny Island? Well, essentially, what you find is a copious population, and I do mean copious, of white rabbits. Right there at the end of the world. Right there on the tip. Between Tasmania and New Zealand, sort of. But on the coast of Australia. Just to the northeast of Tasmania. There's a little island. With a lot of unexplored caves. And an interesting little lighthouse that looks familiar to me from my dreams when I was a child. And after I found this lighthouse, just looking for lighthouses in Australia, and after following many rabbit holes down many different winding streams, I found the lighthouse, and then I found that this island had a bizarre phenomenon. Just like so many white rabbits, you wonder how the fuck they eat. There's just, for reasons that most people just can't figure out, there's theories. Nobody really knows, though. You know, there's lots of logical ways one could presume that they got there, sure. You know, maybe they were headed for Gilligan's Island and had a shipwreck. They just thought it was going to be a 3-hour tour. 8 days later, there's more of them, you know. Because they breed like rabbits, don't they? But I was on this little quest to find the lighthouse of my dreams. From when I was a child. And like everything about it. Everything about the layout of where that lighthouse sits. And the cliffs and the caves and the cliffs and the little waterfalls and everything. It was exactly as I remember. And then the bunny thing. And my mind was blown. Because how ironic, how silly, how just the way it should be is that, you know? The proverbial rabbit hole is real, and there's actual white rabbits there. You know, they say that people used to stay in caves along valleys to escape other people. Some people have said to escape aliens. No. You live in caves along valleys to escape fallout. Not nuclear fallout. Wouldn't help much. But ash cloud fallout. Meteoric fallout. Projectiles that have been blasted so high in the sky that they took years to finish falling. That's why entire civilizations left where they were and moved into caves in the sides of valleys. You see this over and over again, all over the world. Not just one group of people does that. Nobody does that for fun. And if you think about it in a tactical situation, as a means by which to escape an invading army, just no. You will be some bizarre cross between sitting ducks and fish in a barrel, and your feathers and scales will fly everywhere. Like, seriously? It is generally speaking, not tactically correct to increase the ease by which somebody can kill you, if they mean to. And the only thing that puts somebody in a situation where they could be just easily wiped out with the slightest bit of effort, as long as it was intentional, is if they are trying to escape shit that is falling from the sky. Similar situation in any kind of bomb, any kind of fallout shelter that we would have built in the 50s. Somebody could just come along and lock your ass in there and then you're dead, Same thing with holes carved in the side of a cliff. All I gotta do is find the top of that cliff. And that whole cliff will come crashing down. The slightest bit of effort. Hell, if you're talking about an army, you just go stand up there and jump. And just, oh man, come on. God forbid they just take some rocks and start throwing them. The cliff of a valley is where you go when the air above the valley is toxic. I think people back then were a lot smarter than they are now, though. And most of those valleys had a lot more plant life than they do now. You don't even see plants like they used to have back then. big, big meaty plants. Look at that one. It's like the whole world is on miracle grow. I don't know how to describe it.